The Civ 6 development team officially announced a new patch yesterday. If you want to know more, stick around. If you want to get good at Civ 6, subscribe and click the bell to keep up with the channel.
Hello Civ fans, we're back again with another update for Civilization 6. As always, we want to give a big thank you to everyone for your valuable feedback you continue to provide on all of our social channels and forums. We've packed a ton of new features, balance tweaks, and fixes into the latest update, but that's not even the best part. We're unleashing an exciting new multiplayer game mode that's unlike anything we've done before. We can't wait to tell you more about it. But for now, let's go over what else is changing in the game.
I just want to take a quick second to touch on how impressed I am with the Civ 6 development team. I always see a lot of people complaining about the state of the game, and I mean, clearly, there's always things to improve, but generally speaking, they're constantly working to make the game better and regularly releasing significant patches that actually change the way the game is played. I mean, in my humblest of humble opinions, I think this plays a crucial role in keeping the game interesting and enjoyable. Anyway, let's keep going here.
Based on your feedback, one area we wanted to focus on in this update was making coastal cities stronger. For starters, we looked at our great admirals and added a ton of new bonuses. Here's just a few examples. Francis Drake now instantly creates a privateer with 1 promotion level, and military units get a plus 50% reward for plundering sea trade routes. Ferdinand Magellan grants 1 free copy of a luxury resource on a tile to your capital city and grants 300 gold. Horatio Nelson instantly builds a lighthouse and shipyard on a harbor on top of his already existing 50% flanking bonus to all naval units. We've also added more bonuses to the buildings coastal cities benefit from. Mausoleum at Halicarnassus now gives +1 science, +1 faith, and +1 culture on all coast tiles for a city, and great engineers get an additional charge.
Alright, so now this is a big step in the right direction. These promotions seem actually useful, and the most important thing, at least in my opinion, is that they essentially turn into free production when you're done actively using them. The harbor is 54 production, and it's 120 for the lighthouse. I know it doesn't seem like much, but that's actually significant for the era of the game that this admiral's produced in. Not to mention the increased trade route capacity that comes with the lighthouse as well. The privateer, on the other hand, is 280 production, and you can use the gold from that other one to purchase things or upgrade units, which again saves you production that you can then use for more efficient purposes. Okay, holy fuck, this is a huge change. This wonder is essentially now the water tiles equivalent to a Petra or St. Basil's Cathedral, which is good in and of itself. But that last part, great engineers earn an additional charge. That's epic. Just think about the 3 engineers throughout the game that are crazy important whether you're chasing a science or a culture victory. You know, the ones that give +215, +315, and +480 production into wonders. This single wonder is essentially granting you 1110 production that you can then use towards whatever wonder you want. This wonder itself only costs 400 production, so it's essentially 4 free air score, 710 free production, and then all of the tile improvements yield for the rest of the game. Considering that it's unlocked with defensive tactics, that's a significant amount of time and tile yields. I mean, with these new changes, I'd say that this wonder is going to be a priority for me in games going forward, regardless of whether or not I'm actually doing anything to do with naval gameplay. I mean, there's also engineers that allow a city to build an extra district for its population size. So now they give 2 extra districts? That's awesome. I honestly think this wonder will get nerfed, but hopefully we'll get our hands on it at least for a little while before they swing the nerf bat too hard. Anyway, let's listen to some more.
Lighthouses give +2 housing if the harbor is adjacent to the city center. Fisheries now provide 0.5 housing. Shipyards give +1 production to all unimproved coastal tiles in the city. And finally, putting a campus on a coastline tile next to a reef gives the campus a major adjacency bonus.
If you're enjoying the video so far, do me a favor and take a second to hit the like button. It goes a long way to help a small channel like me get discovered. Better yet, leave a comment on here. Call me an asshole if you want to. Any engagement helps. Anyway, let's get back to what we're here for. Alright, these changes are so-so in my opinion. I really think they're not enough, to be honest. The developers need to come up with some way, whether it's a building or a tile improvement, I don't know, just some way that all civs can use something. They at least need to get the yield of water tiles to 1 food and 2 production. Ideally 2 food and 2 production by the end of the classical era or medieval age at the very latest. The shipyard boost is nice and all, but it happens way too late in the game to really be that significant. The campus major adjacency bonus with reefs is nice though. It essentially turns them into geothermal fissures. It definitely makes settling coastal cities without mountains in range more convenient in science victories. Moving along.
Our previous update added the Seven Seas map and the Small Continents map. We're happy to say that this update will introduce 6 more maps. The Terra map will include a distant continent populated by city-states, barbarians, and mystery. Each game will be a race to see who can grab the riches of these new worlds first. Primordial maps are a chaotic mixture of the game's most extreme terrain types. Set your disaster meter on 4 and let us know if you make it out alive. Mirror maps feature a randomly generated world where the 4 map quadrants are mirrored to provide exactly balanced starts that are ideal for multiplayer. There are 2 spawn options here as well. Standard, which allows players to spawn in different locations in their respective quadrant, and Mirrored, which forces all players to spawn in the exact same location in their section of the map. To try these new maps, you can simply double-click any of them from our newly organized map selection UI screen.
I really like how they're focusing on expanding their map pool recently. I'm a huge fan of StarCraft 2, even though I can't play it very well. But one of the great things about the game is that the developers are constantly making new maps, which keeps the multiplayer aspect of the game refreshing. It seems like Firaxis is jumping on board with this now too. Hopefully they keep it up. Out of the ones he mentioned there, I'm probably most excited about the Terra map. It just seems like a really interesting concept to me, almost like going to settle the new world. Just think about how crazy the barbarians will be by the time you have the tech to get over to this new world. It should definitely make things interesting. Not to mention the significance of getting the first meat bonuses on all of those city-states, and the head start on picking and choosing the best ones to become suzerain of. I mean, that Primordial map looked pretty badass too, though. Would definitely make for an interesting playthrough. I mean, I doubt I'd play it regularly, but once or twice at the very least. The mirror map thing looks pretty interesting too for multiplayer, especially being able to even make the start positions identical. That's definitely a nice feature.
We still have a lot to show you, so please keep watching for more details on the upcoming changes. We'll have the full patch notes available when the update goes live. Make sure you stay tuned to the Civilization social channels, where we'll drop more details about the new multiplayer game mode soon. Also, you might have seen that the Rise and Fall expansion is now available for iOS. We wanted to let you know that we and our friends at Aspyr are working very hard on getting Gathering Storm to the platform and bringing both expansions to the Switch by the end of the year. We appreciate your patience and hope to have more details on this soon. Now, please enjoy the rest of the video. You are the best fans in gaming.
Aw, he's so sweet. That's definitely good news for mobile players of the game. I know quite a few of you have been not so patiently waiting for Gathering Storm, so at least you know it's not too far away. Hey, if you found this video helpful at all, I'd really appreciate it if you took a few minutes of your time and shared the video with anybody you think it might help. Whether that's directly in a personal message on Facebook or in a Facebook group, on Twitter or Reddit, it's all good. It would really go a long way to helping a small channel like me get discovered, but whether you do or not, let's get back into things. Okay, so at least they're improving fishing boats a little bit. That's something. But like I said, I really think generic water tiles need some sort of boost. And in my opinion, I think colonialism is too far into the game for this specific improvement. Say with a civic like Naval Tradition, which is almost useless in its current state other than the envoy it provides. The extra gold from the camp and food plantation is decent. I think the camp improvement is more significant, but I mean both are welcome changes in my opinion. Alright, so here's some more great admirals. They can't all be amazing, but some of these look pretty good. The classical era one looks like it will definitely be a nice one to grab. At 20% production for ranged naval units will definitely come in handy, especially because it's available to you so early in the game. And yes, I said the classical era one because I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. Anyway, leave Ericsson there seems pretty good too. I'd probably target him just sacrifice him right away so that I could be the first one to get the era score for circumnavigating the globe a lot easier. Not to mention this guy would definitely be a nice pickup in that Terra map they just revealed. It would go a long way towards getting you to the new continent ahead of the pack. Chola over there seems pretty lackluster to me, but the other medieval one is pretty decent. The extra trade route for the rest of the game is a pretty big deal, not to mention the +2 gold for all of your trade routes to foreign cities adds up real quick. Out of the ones here, the only one I'm particularly excited for is Grape Hopper. Is Grape Hopper? Fuck me. Is Grace Hopper? She's essentially like a bite-sized version of the Oxford University. I'll definitely be watching out for her when I'm playing science games. Chester and Ching there are decent, I suppose, but I don't really feel like they're anything to write home about. They'll obviously be a lot more valuable if you happen to be specifically playing a naval domination strategy of some sort, rather than just being all-around useful, great people. Okay, so it looks like they're nerfing rock bands a little bit here. The album cover art is taking a pretty big smack from the nerf bat. Indie band isn't that big of a downgrade in my opinion, but music festivals actually now allowing performances on natural wonders is a nice little boost to make the promotion less dreadful. Ouch, that's a pretty big nerf to Popstar, but both Space Rock and Surf Band are significantly improved. I think overall they're pretty good changes. It definitely goes a long way towards opening up the variety of promotions you might actually choose in culture games rather than basically having only one or two that you pick every time they're available. Here, I'm honestly not too sure I like the changes to the governments. I don't know if I'm understanding this correctly, but I think they're taking a wildcard policy slot from each of them and turning it into a more specified slot. I think this is a pretty significant nerf, as in my opinion the flexibility of those wildcard slots is very useful. However, if I'm completely misunderstanding this and they're just giving each future government type an additional policy card slot, then this is a great buff. Somehow, I don't think that's the case though. This change to veterancy is a really nice addition. I think it'll go a long way in any naval domination games you play, but will even be relevant in the average game to help speed up building a +4 harbor for the added era score, or even just make a harbor or in a coastal city a feasible option, if not just downright better, a choice than the commercial hub, as now you can build a harbor and lighthouse 30% faster than its land-based counterparts. Oh, nice. The continents and island one here looks to be quite interesting. Honestly, I haven't even gotten around to using the Wonder Builder, the World Builder at all yet, but these obviously look like they'll be nice changes if you're into using it. So that basically wraps things up here. What do you think? Are you excited? Think these changes suck? Let's talk about it in the comment section down below. Do you think their changes are enough? Do you think they need to do more to help make naval games more interesting? I personally think they need to address the tech tree itself and rework how the Navy technologies are implemented. I'm specifically referencing DD gameplay here, as I realize that this isn't such a big deal on the lower difficulties. I just think that if you have a convenient tech path, if you're starting science and culture and regular domination games, you should have a convenient tech path if you want to pursue a naval domination game as well. The way things are now, it leaves you in such a bad position early on in the game if you're pursuing Navy techs, where you just get rolled on too easily if you're spawned on an island with an AI, or God forbid, more than one. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor and leave a like on it if you haven't already. It goes a long way towards helping a small channel like me get discovered, and I'd really appreciate it. Either way though, I'm gonna shut up now and I'll just see you in the next video.